Hi, world. And now, Raza, you may commence.
Hey, everybody. I'm Raza, and this is
Bailey, hi.
Bailey, and featuring
It's Wine Mom.
who, by the way, fun fact about Wine Mom, she has the strongest back in the world because she has carried this podcast every single week. So, welcome back to another goddamn episode of Same Shit Different Day, where the show where you go into knowing nothing and you leave losing something somehow. The joke is you get dumber. It was funny in my head. Now reading it out loud, it's stupid.
No, it's good. Good.
You got there. You got where it mattered.
Yeah.
This week, we will be talking about more YouTubers not able to keep it in their pants, and also trying to get a little lighthearted, moving away from the wokeness and talking about some other colorful stuff. So, I feel like Wine Mom should start us off with the whole David guy story.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess I'll catch you guys up to date because I'm sure you guys. Well, I know Bailey hasn't really been keeping in. So David Dobrik is a popular YouTuber. I don't know why, because he sucks. He has a group of people that he vlogs with, which is called the Vlog Squad. Some pretty big allegations have come out against some of the members of the squad, but David is just as guilty because he filmed it, edited it, and then posted it.
Last part about
Yeah.
that part.
Yeah, posted it and then was responsible for later taking it down because it was his video for his channel that he orchestrated. So basically, he has a member of the group. His name is Dom. He also goes by Dirty Dom.
Yeah.
He's quite popular with I know he does music. I've never heard it, don't care to hear it. But some allegations have come out about him previously because he was groping women at CrimeCon, at Comic-Con, I think it was, or one of the YouTube conventions. He was groping some women, and he made an apology. David praised him for his apology. I don't know why. You were sexually assaulting women. You don't deserve a praise for, apologizing. And then later on, they continued to film and work together. And as we all know, Trish has been doing some stuff with Ethan, which is from the H3H3. They have a podcast together called Frenemies. And so Trish has really been opening the book about the Vlog Squad because that was probably one of her darkest periods. She was filming with them because at the time she was dating Jason Nash, who happened to be a 40-year-old man hanging out with 20-year-old children. A bunch of nefarious things had happened one night, and I guess the girl at the time, she didn't take it as seriously because she was just trying to heal and get past it. But a vlog was posted talking about a night where Dom was trying to get a fivesome. So he had invited some women to one of the houses. Yeah. And so all the girls get there, and some of them are underage and some of them are not. So what I mean by underage is underage for drinking. And so he, with some coercion, which indicates with some alcohol, convinces a couple girls to sleep with him. So they have a threesome, apparently. There's the video with some out of context shots because that's how David does everything. And then later on, the girl speaks with a reporter who works for, what was the company, Raza? Do you remember?
Q. It starts with Q, I think. Q.
I'm not sure, but her name is Kat. And she does a very in-depth article, which is behind a paywall. A lot of people feel a way about that. I don't understand why they do. It's not that big of a deal.
because I wanted to read it, and I just like I'm not paying money to read about.
I mean,
it's because it's David Dobrik. He brings in the most clicks possible.
Yeah.
They gotta put that shit behind him.
So here's the thing. So Kat releases this article, right? It's a pretty in-depth article. I haven't read it myself, but I watched Ethan, and I believe he did it with Hila, but they broke down the entire article, talked about the entire article.
Yeah.
And then they also had a phone call with the writer of the article. There was some stuff in there. Sorry.
Can I slow down? Can I slow down? Can I slow down here? Can I get a little bit more of a summary?
Yes. Okay, what do you want to know?
We got David Dobrik, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? David Dobrik, he's famous for just doing bullshit in vlogs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and giving people free shit. I'm not completely ignorant. I know his shtick. And then he
just copied Mr. Beast, but yes.
Yeah, essentially, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And Mr. Beast is way more wholesome than him. But
Correct.
I digress. So then he's got his squad that he hangs out with. They just produce vlogs as well?
Yeah.
It's just all vlogs.
And are these... So the last clarification of these other vlogger people in his sphere is I am aware of the concept, but are they like TikTok Jake Paul-esque vloggers, or are they old school YouTube, here's my day, watch me go shopping vloggers?
It's kind of a smash together. It's kind of like a hype house sort of deal.
Yeah.
So like they don't all live together, but they basically spend as much time as possible together in order to record the vlogs. And basically David is known for like having people come and like reshoot shots on different days to make them fit better with whatever he got previously.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't
so
know
he
them.
scripts the daily vlogs.
He's known for not
sort of.
scripting, but he scripts them.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I feel like his vlogs aren't really vlogs; they're more like played out narrations of some events and stuff. So he's like.
So let me break down the video in specific in regards to the article. Okay, so Dom, so they're all hanging out, and they are back at this one house where Dom lives. And Dom posts on Instagram that he wants some girls to come down to have a fivesome. So a group of girls respond to the Instagram story and say, oh, like, we want to come and hang out. So they get there. And then once they get there, they're all like, look, like, we're not actually down to fuck. Like, we really just wanted to hang out and meet David and, like, be a part of a vlog because, you know, there's all this hype around this group, right? So that's fine, whatever. And so Jason Nash is there, Trisha Paytas is there, and then Jeff Whitaker, I think is his name, is there. David's there, and a couple other names. I don't know all their names, but those are kind of like the heavy hitters right now. Yes.
I'm going to cut you off for a second. That Jeff guy, apparently he was trending last night.
Yes, I'm going to get to that. Yeah, I'll tell you about that. Okay.
Right.
So... There's some other members, whatever. They're all at this house. So
and all these is super quick. Trisha, all these people are just vloggers. That's all they do.
No. They just all hang out with David.
Okay.
So Trisha's her own YouTuber. Trisha's been a YouTuber for a very long time. She used to do stuff with Shane Dawson, and then she did her own thing. Yeah. She's known for like having mental breakdowns and like crying in her kitchen floor and doing videos. Yeah. Anyways, that's its own thing. So, so they're all hanging out there, whatever. And so somebody tells somebody to get some alcohol for the girls. So at this point, Trisha tells Jason, yeah, we're getting out of here. This is going to be a thing, and I don't want to be a part of this. And like, we're leaving. These girls are too young. They don't want to sleep with Dom. Like, I'm getting out of here. Okay. So Jason, Trisha leave. But before that, Trish was there when one of the members were asked to go and get alcohol. So whatever, they leave. Alcohol returns. Girl ends up way too drunk. Her and a friend end up in a room with Dom, and Dom locks the door, doesn't let them out, sexually assaults one of the girls. And the other one basically tries to throw herself in between the two of them in order to help the friend. There's a lot more details. I encourage you to read the article if you can. If you can't read the article, you should watch Ethan and Hila break it down because they do talk about the entire article. So the girl consented to the video being posted, and then later on said, I don't want this video posted, can you delete it? Like, everybody who knows me is calling me and asking me about this video. Like, I'm embarrassed. Like, I didn't know I slept with you. I didn't want to sleep with you. You raped me. Please delete this video. Okay. So video gets deleted. And then this article comes out, which is like a full breakdown. So to touch on what you said about Jeff. So in the article, Kat called Trisha and said, look, one of the girls said to me that Jeff Whitaker was the one who went and purchased the alcohol. And so Trish says he was asked to purchase the alcohol. I don't know if he did. So Jeff didn't read the article, but made a video.
Yeah.
Went on H3H3 podcast and made himself look like a fucking ass.
Yeah, it was so awkward watching like those clips. I saw him just
because
like
none of it makes sense. He like. Yeah.
This is the corner of the internet I hate. I don't know. I'm gonna try to dive into this, but like these, so they're all just famous for just being normal, privileged white people living in California.
Bloggers,
That's what they're famous for. Like, I think it's just that some of them, like, I mean, whatever, okay, so inherently, probably David Dobrik got there because he made a vlog, because he's got some sort of personality, but the fact that this whole society of fucking drama spawns around it is...
Yeah,
okay,
because,
but
like,
here's the big thing. Yeah, so here's the big thing that is the main issue, right? It's not about the popularity, it's not about the drama, it's not about all of that stuff. The big issue here is that a sexual assault, including alcohol in order to accomplish the sexual assault, has happened. And this is not the first time, and it won't be the last time, and it's not just this group, it's multiple groups, and it's tons of different YouTubers who have been called out for this behavior, but they constantly get away with it because they put out these half-ass apologies. And the big thing with David is his apology that he gave before the article was out, the apology that he gave addresses obviously nothing in the article because it came out after, just before the article was released. On top of that, it's literally a carbon copy of the same apology he released like only a year or so before. It's literally the exact same apology. No accountability whatsoever.
So you're right. And I apologize. I'm missing the levity of it. I'm trying to be in Bailey, and I'm bitching about what I'm frustrated about. But you're correct. And I'm obsessing about the wrong thing. Nonetheless, the part I am curious about is then, like, is it the way you're pointing at David and this community, and it is disgusting, and is it a YouTuber quote unquote problem, or is this like a definitely not like, let's just turn to toxic masculinity, but is this like more of a power issue? You know what I mean?
We talked about this on the last, like, a couple of podcasts before. It's like, I feel like it is a power thing when you get to that level.
I think it's both. I think it's a YouTube culture thing.
Both, yeah.
Because so many YouTubers are called out for this. It's abuse of power, right? If you are an influencer, regardless of YouTube or Instagram, whatever form of influence you use, you hold power over regular people. Even if I don't like you and I don't care about you, but you're more popular than me, you still technically hold power over me because you can manipulate things against me, right? So that's an issue, but also it's an issue of toxic masculinity, right? And the reason why I say that is because all of this was the whole concept of this section of the vlog, which I was made to understand that it was the entirety of the blog, or the vlog, sorry, but I think it was just like the second half of the vlog. But the whole direction was to get Dom laid by 5 women. Yeah,
that's the whole gist of it.
Right?
Yeah, that's the whole gist.
So basically, you're using your power as a YouTuber, and you're a man, and you're gonna have these young women come and have sex with you. Like,
it's like I can like point to what happened at Rooster Teeth in October. That guy I told you about who was hooking up with girls on Snapchat at all these conventions. Like, it's that, and I think I brought this up last time. These YouTubers or success, like these people in the media, go for like girls who are younger because they are
Younger,
inexperienced,
impressionable.
impressionable. They see they see
They want the money,
a
the
YouTuber
success.
talk. Yeah, they see a YouTuber talking to them, and like they feel like he's they're the center of the world because that
Mhm.
YouTuber is giving them attention. Where
Mhm.
if an older woman was in that situation, she would just probably brush it off because she's experienced with these. I
Some
could be
women. Some women.
someone.
Yeah.
Some women.
Again, I'm a dude.
Because the
Yeah,
times are
sorry.
tricky. Because it's like some women you say that, and now it's like we were just talking about someone's boomer-related relative, right? Someone who's using like social media and doesn't have necessarily the perception of the size and scope of it. Like they're gonna get entrapped by the same thing, even if they already do have that life experience. Otherwise, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it could be a time thing. Like,
Well, right. So one other thing though that I want to address as far as this topic goes, just because I know if people are gonna ask, I know they'll ask this question: how is David responsible in this situation when he wasn't the
That's
one who
my-
committed the assault? Right?
so
I knew
confused
one of
about
you guys
that.
were thinking that, so I'll tell
Yeah.
you why he's responsible.
Okay, thank you.
First of all, he's David Dobrik, a very well-known YouTuber, tons of followers. He orchestrates this entire vlog. These people, he's the reason why they all come together. That's one reason. So if he wasn't there, those people wouldn't have come. Those girls wouldn't have come. Not only that, he uses the power of money over his friends in order to orchestrate their behavior.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then it comes down to the fact that he filmed, refilmed, edited, finalized, and then posted it. And then he was aware of the girls. So the girl did send like a huge text message to Dom, breaking down everything she felt and how he treated her, and that she didn't even know that she was sexually assaulted, and she wanted the video removed. So you cannot tell me that David did not ask Dom, why do you want me to delete this video? It has tons of views. What's the reason? He had to have seen that text message. There really is no real way around it. And so he's ultimately responsible because he orchestrated it, he pushed the narrative, he filmed it, and then he continued to edit and post it and put it on the internet for people to see.
I personally
That's
agree,
where he's
but
responsible.
I've been called
I agree with
way
that completely.
I've been called way too PC lately, but I don't think he should be making a video like that in the first place. Personally,
No.
personally.
That's not Bailey. That's
I
a
think-
very popular take. You are on.
But
Okay,
here's the
good,
thing,
'cause
though.
everyone
If
say
Trisha
people-
Paytas,
Yeah, sorry,
here's
because
the thing.
Trisha's the one that she did a bunch of OnlyFans, which is
Yeah,
fucking
but,
a bunch of
Okay.
people, didn't she?
let's not even talk about OnlyFans because we'll fight about that. The thing with Trisha is
Right.
that she's got a lot of issues as far as
Yeah.
like her mental health, right? And she has a very long history on YouTube struggling with her mental health. And so people are discrediting her because there was a scenario when her and Jason Nash were still dating. She had made comments about the Vlog Squad. Right?
Yeah.
What's so funny?
I don't get it.
Jason Nash? I don't know.
Yeah,
It just sounds like bad news. How are you
I
gonna
know.
get in a relationship with
No.
someone named Jason Nash and not expect
keep in
like a
mind-
storyline from The Flash to play out?
Right. And Trisha was still a little bit young then. Not super young, but she was still somewhat young. Anyway, so she was dating Jason, and then she had made some comments about the Vlog Squad, like if she posted a video coming for them, basically. And then Jason broke up with her. And then so Trisha struggled with a lot. So they're discrediting her because she's tried to kill herself in the past, because she had drug issues. She drove her car through Jason's apartment. She threw a brick in his window. And so people are like, okay, Trisha's crazy. We can't take her seriously. Anything she says is bullshit. And it's like, I can understand why people say those things, but that's not valid to discredit someone when everything she said has been proven by video evidence, by her own video evidence, by tweets, by posts. All different things have proven what she said to be legitimate.
yeah.
So this is where all the cult stuff comes in. Because that's like cult tactics. That's where all those headlines about them being a cult is coming in then.
Well, basically because David is just orchestrating this entire group of people and like leading them and telling them what to do.
Yeah.
Which is and then they extradite people by saying, oh, it's their mental health. There's something wrong with them. They're the ones that are fucked. Blah blah blah.
Well, multiple members are coming out and talking about it. Like so, Elijah Kochi, which you guys, I'm sure you know who she is. She's some famous. She believes she's Canadian. I don't know. I don't really care. I don't find her funny, but people like her. So her and David were together for quite a long time, and then they had a massive breakup, and they did like a whole video of like we're breaking up, which was very like boyfriend versus girlfriend reinvented. That whole like situation. I know I'm talking like real YouTube stuff, but so they did like a breakup video. Yeah, so they did a breakup video, whatever. And she has kind of been making very snide remarks, very low-key things that people are slowly starting to catch on about comments about the Vlog Squad. And like she even said, she was like, I felt like my entire relationship was fake because everything was for the vlog. Like he bought her this really expensive painting as like an anniversary gift. And she actually questioned him. She's like, is this for me? Or like, is this a part of the vlog? Like, did you actually do this because you know that I like this? Or did you do this because you wanted to get views on your vlog?
That's so twisted. Imagine like giving somebody something that they really like just for views and stuff. It is fucking.
But the thing is, like, yes, he did do that for views, 100%, because he could have given it to her privately and quietly. Like, I personally, if I was in the relationship with a YouTuber and they were using our relationship as like as a vlog, I'd be pissed. Like, you know, that's personal.
Mm-hmm. And you know, interesting. Logan Paul, out of all people, foretold this whole thing. Out of all, a couple of years ago, he on his podcast, he was just like, David, if you don't slow down or something, this shit will catch up to you.
Because a lot of people have been talking about it. Yeah, when him and Liza broke up, that kind of opened the door for a lot of people to start making comments about him and the things that he's doing.
I just opened up an article and like it's like breaking it down to a timeline.
Poor Bailey's head is exploding because he's got no idea what's really going on right now.
The earliest date,
because I get it. I just fucking hate it. I just hate it. I hate that it exists. I hate that it's a thing.
But it's not just YouTube.
Like, because it's all
on forever.
I know it has been going on forever. No, I know I support it, and that's why it's important that we talk about it, and that's why I'm trying not to like overrun the conversation with my pessimism, because it's very important that we talk about it, because it's a serious abuse. It's a serious example of gaslighting. It's a serious example of like the cultism of rejecting people due to their mental health, and that's not appropriate and not okay. And people's like sexuality shouldn't be used against them in an abusive terms in order to get your way. It's just at the same time, like all of these fucking humans who contribute nothing, like literally nothing.
Yeah.
I guess that's true, but at least we're having like comprehensive conversations about topics that get people thinking, you know what I mean? Like we could be three assholes giving our opinion into the fucking void.
Giving our opinion into the void, but yes.
Yeah.
But
but I know what you mean, Bailey.
At least, it's not just like people famous for having a name. You know what I mean? Like these people are just famous for having a name. They're not famous for anything, and that I think that perpetuates the nonsense and fuckery. And then I think that what we should be addressing is correct. The root cause of why the fuck is this happening? Why is it that you need a David and a Trisha and a thing in a room, and then all of a sudden toxicity begins?
Right.
Drives up the engagement rate of a rate, as Bailey's PR brain says all the time to me. That's all it is.
It's just all very overwhelming, because you think at some point the reality is anything you do is gonna get exposed. It's gonna get exposed. If you're a famous person or a YouTuber, like somebody eventually is gonna be like, fuck it, no amount of money is gonna keep me quiet. Like I'm gonna tell on you.
That's why, like, when Bailey approached me with this whole idea, I said, okay, just give me a week to clean out my past, and then I'm good to go. and I did that, and I feel like I'm safe for the most part, but still, like,
Oh, we'll see. One of us is gonna get it, Raza.
No, it's gonna be me, so, for sure. But
I don't know. Who knows?
it's like we live in this world of the internet where like
Yeah.
everything you do is gonna be on a mic, even if you're not famous or anything. You can just say something and get canceled or get whatever the fuck, right? You are put under a microscope no matter who you are, and there's gonna be something out there that will get fucking blown up out of proportion, which happens a lot. So,
but see, this is the big thing though. As a human being, it's your responsibility to take ownership of your behavior. That's it. And so when Ethan was talking to Jeff, Ethan said to him specifically, he's like, I wish that you had talked to me before you released your video, because I would have told you to apologize for what you were responsible for. Instead, you just created a bigger monster. And he started going on about how he was in jail. You were in jail for like literally a minor drug possession. You're not a fucking gangster. Like, you need to calm down and you need to like actually analyze the situation. Now, Jeff is going through a lot of personal things that he doesn't want to talk about, and I respect that. But at the same time, like, you have to take a second and think about it. And even with you two, like, you're saying about checking your past or whatever, the reality is if something, I know that if somebody said, hey Raza, you did this thing and I'm gonna expose you, I know that you're man enough to say, look guys, I fucked up, I'm sorry, and I won't do it again, and I will work to be better. But a lot of these YouTubers, instead of doing that, they go, I'll deny all possible deniability. I have nothing to do with anything. I am.
Or me, I would be like, say, you're goddamn right. It's probably gonna be. So hopefully nothing bad, but
Who watches the watchers? Who watches the YouTubers? You know what I'm saying? Like, who?
That's an age. That's the same. That question Bailey just asked holds the same gravity as what's the point of life, right? Nobody can come up with a definite answer to that, because I've heard the answers and they're all
I think also a lot of these YouTubers like Vlog Squad and David Dobrik and whatever. I think the reality is they cater to a younger audience. Their whole thing is they push towards a young audience. And then you literally have a video, you've been pushing to a young audience, but you have a video about getting people drunk and having a five-some. And you're sharing that message to young audience. And now it's like, I'm not a parent, and I'm not gonna like PC everybody and tell you what you have and what you should and shouldn't do, because I'm the last person that's gonna censor myself on the internet. Like, I'm just not that person. I'm not gonna try and be childhood friendly, because that's not who I am. But if that's how you're marketing yourself as a person on YouTube, you're marketing yourself as like a child friendly thing, and like you're trying to like do things for kids, like, get the fuck out of here, because that's not what you're doing. That's not who you are. Stop fucking lying.
100%. Even like Logan Paul, I keep on going back to him, and I'm sorry, but him doing the suicide forest thing, right? Kids see that video.
He was literally wearing a Minions fucking hat. Like, that was marketed towards children. You can't tell me it wasn't.
And then YouTube and please don't block us. YouTube, but YouTube in their infinite glory said we will take it down a week later or some shit like that. So like I feel like YouTube sort of enables this behavior, kind of, with how slow they deal with things. Like,
absolutely.
Like, one of my favorite YouTubers recently got kicked off of YouTube for just using copyright imagery, but meanwhile you have neo-Nazis putting out fucking hate speech and stuff. So like YouTube is inherently broken, I find.
Well, it's like, meanwhile, it's same on YouTube. It's inherently broken there, and then Twitch just came out with that they're rating people based on their risk liability, and like at the same time, like, and then not to toot our own horns, it's like people talking about the news from like a more balanced perspective are then also still going to get shat on as well. So you're ending up that it's only going to feed these fucking P words that I probably can't say on Twitch to get famous. You know what I mean?
These poo-poo heads. Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing, is like, that's why, like, when I'm on Twitter, like, I know the thing is, like, I know that these big people on Twitter, I know they read their tweets that people are tweeting at them. I know they do that. And it's like, and I have no problem. Like, I will tweet at whoever. And like, if you want to talk about it, like, let's talk about it. But the reality is like, you know who you are and you know what you did. And someone like David, like, he knows what he did.
Yeah.
And I'm going to hold him to that. I'm not going to accept any half-ass weak apology. Like, you need to come out and you need to do better. And all this fucking money you have, start donating it to things that matter. And maybe give this poor girl some money, considering I don't even think they paid her for her being a part of the vlog. But yet everybody else is making a cut of things. So you're going to use her sexual assault and she's going to get nothing in return except for damage. That's it. It's disgusting.
Yeah, that's what hurts my back. I went on a dig on the opposite side of the fence, so that because yesterday I was looking up Mr. Beast to see, because I thought he was like, there's got to be something shady there. And I found out, I was like, oh, he's just like somehow a good human. Yeah. And then so I was literally thinking last night, it's funny we're having this conversation, because it's like Mr. Beast like gives all this money away to like random people or their subscribers in these competitions, or it's just his friends from his hometown. So it's still his white privileged friends, but at least they're just like normal people getting the money.
Hold it over them.
Yeah, versus like I was thinking last night literally about David Dobrik. I was like, isn't he just like giving all of this to like other already rich people?
Yeah, that he like all of his friends are established YouTubers. Did this Jack or this David or what's his name?
Jeff.
Jeff guy. He's like, we will get into him. I have an issue with him, but he's been giving him a lot of money, and he signed him into a deal. David signed him into a deal for just to here. So this 4-year-old man is working for a 20-year-old kid and stuff.
Well, and this is the thing, is like Ethan said to Jeff, he's like, are you making certain comments in order to protect David? And he's like, well, no, those other people need to like be, they need to speak for themselves. And it's like, no, Jeff, like, and this is why I like Ethan. And I know that there's differing opinions, but I just find that like Ethan doesn't fucking care what he looks like. The reality is he's like, he'll call you out. He knows his shit stinks and he doesn't care. But he's gonna call you out. He's like, look, my shit stinks, your shit stinks. So tell the truth about your shit, because I tell the truth about my shit.
I don't think he does that. I don't think he does that.
Really, I agree, because Just Rain did a video on him calling them out and stuff like that for being like kind of racist towards Indians, and he denied the whole damn thing and stuff. So he's like, I didn't do that. That video taken out of context, being like the whole Indian community on YouTube is like, you're making fun of our dances, motherfucker. And stuff like.
And he won't address it, and he won't own up to the fact that his shit stinks. That's why I get pissy.
I mean, okay.
But that's a continuing thing.
Yeah, so I don't know much about that stuff, because I haven't heard about that. Raza, share me the information you have, because I haven't looked into that.
Okay.
I didn't even hear about that. But
it's
the
like
point is,
old video,
yeah. But the thing is, like, even with when he went after Keemstar, like, a lot of his shit got exposed, and he did talk about a lot of it. Anyways, that's irregardless. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, well, because fuck Keemstar. Like, any drama with Keemstar, anyone should be able to.
Enemy is my enemy is my friend.
Right.
Sorry, go ahead.
But I'm just saying, like, the point is that Ethan is asking the questions that need to be asked, and people are too scared to answer them. And it's like, if why are you afraid of Ethan? You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people just don't take him that seriously and laugh him off, and he's H3, and that's like, it is what it is, right? And why are you afraid to why are you afraid to talk to Ethan?
I will give props to Ethan for actually going under people's skin just to get the real answer, not to be just beat around the bush. He really didn't. Yeah.
I think what was important, this is why I think him talking to Jeff was so important, is because Trish was there. And I think it was really important, even though I know Trish has a lot of controversies and she's not a fucking angel either, and she's got some shit that stinks as well. But I feel like that campaign against her for being like, oh, she has poor mental health, so don't trust anything she says, was so uncalled for and unfair. And I think that Ethan giving her that because if her and Ethan didn't have that platform together, Jeff would have never come out and talked to Trish for people to see. And I think it was important to give Trish the opportunity to say, shut the fuck up about Starbucks. It's not that big of a deal. Like, get the fuck over it. Why are you still making that joke? It's not funny. Also, you know how you people treated me, and it wasn't okay. I didn't appreciate it, and like now you're discrediting me because I had mental health crises. And he even said that he didn't believe that she was mentally unwell. He thought she was crazy until he went to the hospital after she tried to kill herself, and then he was like, oh, okay, now I understand and I'm going to take it more seriously. But yet you still turn around and discredit her in 2021.
Is this
Jeff.
Jeff? Okay, yeah. I remember him kind of like saying something on the interview of that, and Ethan sort of made him walk back his words, kind of, but he's like half-assed doing. He's like, he really fucked up. I think him and Ethan, like that opportunity. Because he knew Ethan was going to call him out. Like he knew that Ethan, because he watched them talk about it before he actually called in. So he knew what Ethan was going to go at him for, and still he didn't prepare for it. Still he didn't think about it. And instead of just coming on and being like, look guys, I fucked up. Like, I'm willing to admit my wrong. He continued to try and discredit Trisha by saying it was all your fault and you were crazy. And that's why I thought you were lying. My whole thing is why Jeff did the interview, because it's like the only outcome is just, there's only one outcome. It's to make Jeff and everybody on that side look awful, right? There's no
right.
And so
the biggest thing is like,
right.
And the big thing is like Jeff should have just never even said a fucking word at all.
Yeah, just be like,
he should have never made a video, period. His name was brought up in literally next to 2 words. Like, that's it. Jeff like, maybe bought alcohol, question mark.
How can I incriminate myself and stuff too? But wasn't what's his face? Fucking Josh Nash or Jason Nash, not bad. White people, I'm not gonna remember that.
No, it's okay. It's okay. The only reason why I care about the names is because if people are gonna look at this later, I want them to talk about the right people when they look later.
Okay.
That's all.
All right. So
that's true.
For a video, I'm not sure if it's true, but David married Jason's mom, right? Is that?
Yeah.
What?
That's how.
Video, yeah.
Oh, it's for a video. Okay.
It's fucked up, Bailey. That everything they did, like so many dumb, fucked up things, and marketing it to children on top of it. Like they've done some fucked up stuff.
Yeah, and Jason looks like he's trying to be forever 21. Like he's just.
Jason has issues. Yeah, he's got issues.
Yeah, those people will. They will. They'll have some perpetual obsession with youth, and like even. Not even in the sexual context, but in like a perverted way, that it's like this obsession that's gonna end up making them become it without realizing it.
Yeah.
You don't think so? Like think about the white dude who runs a hip hop company, trying so hard that he becomes the stereotype of like the white guy running the hip hop company. You know
I just think all these dudes have this. Yeah, I think David has a god complex. I really do.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, you know, everybody wants to throw around these like sociopath and psychopath and like all those things, and it's like, I don't like it when people say those are dirty words. Like, just leave it alone. You're not educated enough to make those statements. But the reality is like that guy has a god complex because he's been given too much at such a young age. You know, I was literally just talking about this with one of my friends, because there's this saying that with alcoholics, the age that they become an alcoholic is the age they stay forever. And I believe that the age people become popular or like famous, I guess I'm using air quotes here, they stay that age forever. And I think like a lot of these YouTubers are showing you that they're not maturing because they're making the same mistakes at adult ages.
Yeah, that makes sense. And they're not used to the consequences
because there aren't any.
Mentally kids.
Right. They take a couple weeks off YouTube and then they start slowly uploading videos again.
Not a 2-minute apology, like a 2-minute or like a 3-hour long apology video.
Shane Dawson was trying to come back out. He was trying to slowly release videos on TikTok, trying to creep back in, and then somebody was like, "LOL, no, stay in your fucking hole."
Yeah, dude, Shane Dawson. I actually liked him growing up, but then things started. Like his first issue came out years ago. I was like, okay, I'm done.
Have
I'm
you
out.
seen his video with Tana when she was just turning legal age?
No.
Watch
I
that.
just
and come back to me.
remember we were we were not well-behaved kids, and we made our mistakes being in a multicultural environment. But I remember being a kid and seeing Shane do the blackface videos, and I'm like, I'm not gonna continue watching this. Like
But at that time, we were like, "Oh, that's funny." Even I was like, "That's kind of
no, I didn't. I didn't. Yeah, I was like,
never found
I thought it was." But then,
that's. I was like, this is too far. Like, this is a little gross. Like,
I guess it's because of our because it's weird because like here, blackface was an issue like in 2015, but I guess
tried
there.
like 2020 it was an issue. Like people were still doing that shit.
for like we still grew up in a multicultural environment, but it was still like very like a lot of the
You're
same shit did get by.
Your sort of surroundings, that's like terrible, but to here they don't understand that, right? They see blackface at that time as another fucking art piece or whatever the fuck, right?
It's just like it wasn't just the blackface that did it. It was like the combination with this stereotypical personality and like like the thing for me is when I saw those things, I was just like, that's cringy as fuck. Like women, even just like people who tan their skins with like spray on tans and they go so dark, like that's cringy to me. I'm like, why are you doing, like, you know what you're doing, like you're trying to push an image that's not genuine. Like it's very cringy. Like stop doing that. Like be original.
A lot of the girls in my high school were kind of like that. I remember in the hallway I was walking by a girl and she brushed up on me and my shirt was just fucking orange. Like from here to here, it's orange because of her tan.
Like it's just, it's not cute. No,
it's not. It smells.
Yeah.
And but what was I going to say? Do you guys remember Swift Right Shop? He used to, Swift Right Shop. He still makes videos now, but he's from Shane Dawson's era and stuff like that. Him and Shane Dawson made.
Are you talking about Drew?
No, Swift Karate Chop. It's like he's
Karate
like
Swift
Chop.
Karate Chop.
No.
I know there's
I know there's some stuff with Drew and excuse me.
Karate Chop. He became like he's still normal making tech videos now, but him and Shane Dawson started off at the same and they collab with each other. They're making, but then I think Shane Dawson's first incident. After that, I believe he started like Swift Card Shop did his own thing.
Well, here's another thing that I think is also important to point out is that with David, he was working with not just YouTubers, he had celebrities. At one point in time, Josh from Drake and Josh was a part of the Vlog Squad, like regularly appearing in his videos. And like doing some pretty, like
he's had mad famous
stuff.
Keep going. Sorry.
No, I just said he was doing some pretty cringy stuff, and I was like, I don't love this at all. Man. And the thing is, like, I've never liked David's videos. Like, I honestly have never watched any of them. And it's just like, I feel like, this, I might be off, and like, feel free to tell me if I'm off, Raza. But I feel like David, I only say this because I know you've watched what I'm going to talk about. I feel like David is trying to do what Ian and Joji, like Filthy Frank, and like Anything for Views, what all those guys were doing. I think he's trying to recreate that, but slightly cleaner. But it's I agree with that. But the thing is, like, what I think David doesn't understand is when those guys were doing that, they were doing it for an older audience, and they were also saying like, we're literally doing this to be fucking stupid. And whereas David is like, no, this is life, this is casual, this is our brand, this is what we do. And it's like, no, you're kind of embarrassing because you're missing 100%. The mark completely.
It's because when Ian and everyone else was doing it, it was more authentic, it was natural. But David writes everything. He scripts his entire vlogs. Obviously,
Well, like somebody tried to say, Jeff tried to say it was like an SNL skit, and it's like it's nothing like that. It's literally garbage. He literally films garbage. Like, have you watched a full video of his?
no, because I have things to do with my life, and so
Yeah.
I've seen enough to be like, I'm not gonna go back into.
I've gone and watched like 1 or 2 videos. I'll tell you, I got to the end of the video and I was like, I remember nothing. It was just a bunch of mix match bullshit crap. I have no fucking idea what's going on.
Most of his videos, you like it click like it's. I get it. It's click.
Mhm.
But nothing happens like 95% of the time. It's like
No.
okay, skip. Where are those people that he's talking about? That's like,
Mhm.
okay, I wasted 20 minutes on a fucking vlog of a guy I don't care about.
And exactly. At least when we watched hair cake or whatever, they actually ate a hairy cake. You know what I mean? Like, at least
Yeah.
there was an actual real conclusion to that video. They actually did it.
Don't bring that up
disgusting,
ever again. I fucking threw up when I even saw that thing.
Yeah, it was rough. It was rough. Yeah.
It was rough. Like,
But I mean,
at least-
like, you know, it is what it says it is.
but when Ian and them were doing it, it was new. It was uncharted territory, and they were owning it, right? Where David is just like, I want to piggy. They're edgy. I can be edgy, but watch me do something that they don't do, which will land me in probably jail and stuff. So.
See, I didn't even know that like David Dobrik was trying to be edgy like this. Like I thought it was just another Mr. Beast. I didn't even like I knew it was inevitably toxic, but I didn't know it was like let's get our homie laid by fire. I didn't know it was like Ice Poseidon level toxic.
Exactly. This is exactly, but see, this is my exact point, right? He's marketing that stuff to children. So for you, as an outside viewer, as someone who doesn't give a fuck about David Dobrik, when you look at the information and the things that are going around about him, you're seeing like, oh, he donates to charity. He does Mr. Beast-like content. Mr. Beast does do child-friendly content. Mr. Beast content is child-friendly. There's a few things that are a little bit like, you know, like Cartoon Network, sexually like adult jokes that are meant to be caught by adults watching with children kind of things. But it's done where children can watch it, whereas that's what David's trying to do. So you, as someone who's not viewing his content, has written him off as this category, but it's actually not. It's marketed to children, but it's meant for like our age group.
And that's what the easy part of it though. Like it's just easy marketing for kids because kids, again, like a young girl, they're impressionable. They're like fucking play. You can say whatever you want, and they'd be like, "That's cool. I want to go to Japan and see a dead fucking person in the forest, like my hero did. Not my hero, but."
Just keep your morbid crap to yourself. I just think for me personally, I can't watch these. Like, I fucking hate the way that social media people and like these celebrities, I'm using air quotes, get away with bullshit because I don't think it's cute. I don't think it's funny. I don't think it's appropriate. I mean, nothing about it is something that I'm willing to like let go and move on, and I can't ignore it. I just can't. It bothers me every single time something like this happens.
So how do we start a hit list? How do we keep track? We should start a hit list of something. We should start like a YouTube problematic list.
Be here forever, Bailey.
But for realsies, like that's half joke, half serious. Is like, okay, then personally, even if not starting like a whole social justice riot, like how the fuck how do we follow up on this then?
Susan Wojcicki or Wojcicki, whatever the frick her name is, needs to make that decision. It's her platform. That's the problem, right? It's her platform. It's her responsibility to be monitoring these things. I don't understand how you have $1 billion corporation, business, company, whatever the fuck you've got going on, but you're not paying attention to what's happening. It's like so often content is being allowed to slip under the rug, and then content that mentions the word coronavirus and it's suppressed.
Like I was reading somewhere YouTube has invested, or Google has invested so much money into their algorithm to help them like make their YouTube or like other shit a safer place. But I've read reports saying it's like they're allowing literally anybody to fucking talk. Like Bailey and I, for example, get like hits just talking about Trump or talking about COVID, but like you see these other channels that talk about like
The
the
grossest
crazy.
shit.
Yeah.
Like the craziest conspiracy QAnon shit, and they're like, "Yeah, this is going to be on the top page. We're going to give this one number 2 trending." And as I said before, the platform that we use is broken, and there's going to be the Davids out there, the Onision, the Shane Dawsons that are going to exploit that platform.
And this is the thing, right? Because whenever stories like this come up, right, I do a lot of research and I try to get as much knowledge as I can. I don't know everything, obviously, but I try to gather as much relevant information as I can. And so quite often I'm finding young YouTubers who are new to the platform and have only been doing this for a couple of years, and they're making amazing content, but they're getting no views, no follows, no subscriptions, like nothing. Like I'm not hearing these people have like millions of views because they've been uploading videos for a long time, but they have no notoriety. And they're well researched, they're well thought out, they provide good sources, like they're doing their due diligence to bring you a video with good quality content, and they get nothing because they're talking about something that goes against David Dobrik. Like, I don't get it. It makes no sense.
And like there's this YouTube channel I know, I don't watch it, but it's called The Quartering, and like when Brie Larson made that whole spiel about how white guys shouldn't be in superhero movies, The Quartering is a nerd, like an incel nerd that only pays attention to the right wing side of things. So with that quote, she gave that guy 2 years worth of content, and YouTube has been allowing him to make people misogynistic videos against her, only to suspend him once of nothing related to that, but like some playful shit. I forget, it was like lighthearted shit.
Okay, no, well, that is like that. Sorry, well, super quick is like just mine is an add-on. Is like that's you point that out well, because just like we bring out the other content that shitty people get promoted in that same way that the shitty opinion gets posted, because then as long as I'm talking about a Marvel video, YouTube doesn't really notice that I'm like perpetuating misogyny and white supremacy within my Marvel video, because I'm talking about fucking Iron Man.
Exactly.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's okay. But even specifically, there's one YouTuber, you guys may know who he is. He goes by Mike Fox. He's a guy from the UK. He's been making videos for a very long time. He's like, he did do some like MMA stuff with like KSI and those guys. He was kind of involved with those guys. Anyways, he used to make some really like, just kind of like stupid commentary videos when he was younger, and then he had a kid and he got older, and so there's this very big trend on YouTube where people are Chris Hansening. They're doing Chris Hansen stuff, like just like regular Joe Schmoes are doing it, right? So Mike Fox has been doing that, and he's been going after specific characters that that he feels that are important to expose, right? Whatever. He's been doing these videos, and like if you ask me, like going after somebody in a Chris Hansen style, like I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think it's educational, I think it's informative, I think it's important, and I think like it brings light to things that a lot of parents don't realize is going on the internet, right? He had his channel removed, and the YouTube was like, LOL, don't fucking care, goodbye, you're gone, you're going against community guidelines, we don't want you on here. But it's like, what is he doing wrong? David is promoting rape, and Mike Fox is not. Why is he getting suppressed and ultimately removed from the platform? I will say he has been reinstated, but he had to fight for that, and he had to go at YouTube publicly in order to get his account back. And it's like, these small YouTubers, because Mike Fox is technically a smaller YouTuber because he's not as popular as he once was. I think a lot of people have forgotten that he even makes content, kind of like how Fluffy is here. Kind of people have forgotten about him. I knew you were going to be shocked by that one, because a lot of people have forgotten about him. But he's
with the 2 E's, yes, I forgot about him, the stoner dude. Yeah.
But see, like people forget, but the minute that Mike holds them accountable on a public platform and has other people, like viewers, holding them accountable, then they're like, okay. Well, sure, no problem. You're back on YouTube. We didn't miss a beat. No problem. You're back. Like,
like
It's
yeah,
confusing.
social media, that's why Mark Zuckerberg has to testify to Congress so much, because now there's empirical evidence that social media is now what
It's
how
the
can I
number
word-
one most influential tool that any person has.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it's like it's becoming a bias now, where as now again reports are saying that Facebook during the elections was letting out all of this misinformation, just spread like wildfire on the platform without any policing. Same with YouTube, same with Twitter, and everything. So like, social media has made it very difficult for these people to go away because it helps them become more.
Well, and these people
I
create
know,
a
and
mob mentality around themselves in order to protect their shitty behavior. Sorry, Bailey. Go ahead.
Well, it's just because we bring up the Watchmen question, though, right? Like, it perpetuates the shitty behavior. We bring up the Watchmen question, and you apply that to, like, thinking about whether or not the platform owners have responsibility to apply censorship if it is a private company. Now, it's like, I personally think definitely when it comes to hate and shit that they do, but like realistically, if you're the freedom of speech America, how do you they are still like a private business. How the fuck do you tell
So
Mr. Zuckerberg this okay, this ain't? Like, I think you can tell Mr. Zuckerberg, like, no gender hate, no race hate, no this, but then as soon as you start getting those blurred lines,
because like it's a private company, right? Like they can do whatever they want. They aren't held down by any country's laws or constitution.
Okay, but
they
listen.
Twitter.
Here, I'll tell you why. The people that have these companies like Facebook, like YouTube, like Twitter, you know, the reason why they are responsible for monitoring their content is because YouTube is marketed itself as a free speech program for a very long time. And then they turned around and started saying, we don't accept certain things on our platform. So what message are you giving us? If you say that, like, oh, we don't accept this as a company, you're saying we don't accept all these things, but yet we allow these things to exist on our platform, you're actually responsible for making sure those things don't exist on your platform. Because if you give them a place to exist, that means that you're allowing it to go on. And this is why Twitter has this constant battle and people are constantly fighting with Twitter, because Twitter's the first company to come out and be like, yeah, we don't agree with all the white power stuff and we're against all of that, but yet they allow it and they push it to the headlines and they push it forth. And I get stuff on my I was gonna say For You page, my feed. I get shit on my feed that I'm like, I've never followed anybody like that. I don't subscribe to any of this content. I'm not following any of these hashtags. I don't care about any of these conversations. Why is this on my feed? It makes no fucking sense. Why is it here?
On trending, like it's always like the things that you hate. I've always noticed that. All the things that you do, like you want to fucking click on and shit all over and stuff. But like I hate that because of like. Twitter, like you said, is one of the first companies to do this, but that's all they do. They block Trump, right? But they don't stamp out what he caused. They don't stamp out the fucking, like, the overarching, like, thing. They just block out certain people. Like, it's like they don't go after the source of it. They just go after the individual.
Well, and that's... Right, and that's why I think YouTube is responsible for these things, as well as, like, yes, David is responsible for when he uploaded, but I think YouTube is also responsible because YouTube wants to sit there and say that, you know, we don't allow these things on our platform and, you know, you'll block certain content and come after certain creators and remove specific creators and you'll denounce people and all these things, but then you're talking out of the other side of your mouth and you're allowing it all to happen. So guess what? If your message is that you're a PC company and that you care about free speech in the appropriate way and you don't want hate speech being promoted on your platform, then guess what? You're responsible. And if you can't sit there and say, oh, we're a free media place, people can post whatever they want, but then turn around and slam on people. You can't do that.
Well, it's like... sorry, go Raza, and then I've got a fun fact after.
they have a terms of service thing, right? Which YouTube themselves apparently doesn't even follow.
Right.
Why should their users follow it? So it's a message. As I said earlier, they are enabling these people to talk like that. They're like, we're not going to listen to our own rules. So
The thing is, the reason they're scared to, though, is it like costs money, and that's where we need to get our dinosaur governments to place policies on them, right? Because like Facebook has one content moderator for all of Africa.
Yeah,
right?
but didn't
so
they
how do they accomplish
Australia?
censoring content if they only are willing to hire one person to do it?
Yeah.
Well, that's because it's their responsibility. That's the thing. It's like, as a company, if something slips through the crack, you need to be held responsible. But instead of them holding themselves responsible, when something slips through the crack, you got one person responsible for all the content, and something slips through the crack, they take no responsibility for it. They just go, "Oh, it was a mistake." But as a company, it's your job. You are being the vessel for this content. It is your job to make sure that it's being filtered, and they're not, and that's why they need to be held at a more
to get more scary and conspiratorial is like the deeper you go to second and third world nations, like Facebook arguably has that much more of an like influence on political campaigns, right?
Absolutely.
Go, Raza, I see you.
Sort of where it's allowed, right? It's Facebook, these third world countries see Facebook as a threat to their democracy, quote unquote. So, like Pakistan, for example, blocks it every now and again. A lot of these third world countries block it because they see what's happening here, states in Europe, how it's causing a rift, and they're like, we want to not have that rift here. So we see the root cause is social media.
Right.
But then you're censoring. It's a double-edged sword. You're censoring your own population to stop from a civil war happening. It's like a weird thing.
And then you're gonna have people trying to find it, and dissent caused through that. And it's a double-edged sword. Either way, you're gonna take a loss.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. That's Like I remember in Pakistan, like the easiest way to stop a riot when I was there was to just cut off YouTube on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. But everybody's smart enough to say, everybody in that goddamn country has a VPN or has money for a VPN. You just say, hop on that, and it doesn't matter. But going back onto the initial point, my mom is 100% right, because it is these platforms. It's up to these platforms to dictate how they censor themselves. They have to self-police.
Right. I can, like, the way that I see it is, like, if you think about a smaller platform, right? So think about when you have your own Discord group, right? If there are things that are being shared within your Discord group, you've created this vessel for people to communicate. Guess what? It's your responsibility to make sure that it's not getting out of hand. Just like with YouTube, just like with even with Twitch, with Twitter, with Facebook, it's you've created this vessel. It's your responsibility to monitor what's going on. Yeah. I mean, we know 100%. You guys are doing it anyways. Don't pick and choose when you want to say something.
So, but the thing I keep trying to get to, though, is like, I fully, wholesomely agree, but how the fuck do we make that happen? Right?
We are laymen. We have no idea how those inner workings look. So you and I can talk about it, right? We can talk about, in a perfect world, this is how it happens, but then in the reality, you see the machine, you see how it's working. It's fucked, and they don't even know how it's working. So how can we answer?
It's because we have like a fetishization of corporations, right? That corporations are the ones with the power, so we have to be beholden to them. We have to listen to what Facebook, but Mark has all the money, so we have to listen to what Mr. Zuckerberg says. When we rightfully we could say no, turn the shit off, you dumbass.
Yeah, I mean, as far as like how are they going to be able to monitor that stuff, this is what I'm saying, like, it's their responsibility. That's
Yeah.
where it leaves for me. I didn't develop the site. I didn't, you know, the thing is, like, when you do these things, you accept the repercussions. And they were building these companies. They knew they were trying to make a free media. They knew that they were doing that. And they knew that eventually somebody who was a little bit skeevier than somebody else was going to come in and start ruining your platform. They know these things. It's a common internet thing. It happened on MySpace. It happened on any kind of blog space stuff. It happened on Tumblr. It's happened on YouTube. You guys have they've watched it all happen.
Yeah, it's so joke because YouTube came was later on than
yeah.
And they saw what happened with the internet, right? People are going to exploit that, and they're like, no, YouTube is going to be a place where people upload cat pictures, and we can trust that. And years later, I'm finding fucking right-wing Nazi talking points on
It's like
front page.
we had talked recently on a few episodes ago where we talked about OnlyFans specifically. When OnlyFans specifically was created, it was created for people who were bands and wanting to share not nudes and stuff like that. They were wanting to share like tour videos and tour pictures and more personal content from their experiences as a band. And then somehow it just turned into this other program. So it's like, this just happens. So if OnlyFans wanted it to remain a certain way, it's their responsibility to police the content that's on their profile. They chose to go another route and go, hey, do what you want to do. We want you guys to feel comfortable here, which is all cool. Do that. But it's like, you need to be, if OnlyFans was like, hey, we're not that group, like, we're just for band stuff, like, that's not what we want to market ourselves as, like, they would come out and start coming against that. But OnlyFans hasn't, because they really don't give a fuck. That's the whole point. They're like, we are free for this, right? They want them to do these things because they know it's going to make money. But if OnlyFans didn't want it that way, it's their responsibility to come out and correct the content that's on their platform. Update your guidelines.
But I just don't. But the whole point. But they don't want to. So like, cool. I agree with you. But they don't want to. So what?
Yeah.
So like, literally what? You know what I'm saying?
Right. But OnlyFans isn't fighting about it. Sorry. Go ahead, Raza.
My mom is saying all this shit. Like, if this was a perfect world, and if OnlyFans stayed true to what they were, like other social media platforms, then it would work. But again, like I said, they saw dollar signs and they're like, I want that and stuff. So it's just like
OnlyFans, Patreon, even Twitter allows a copious amount of nudes on Twitter. Like, Twitter is basically a porn site with words. Like, let's be fucking real. But the thing is, like, these companies, like Twitter is like, oh, that's not who we are. But Twitter After Dark is legit a fucking thing. It's promoted. You see it comes up in hashtags. Like,
but they've done the same shit as YouTube now, where they've just made blanket policies where it's now whatever, you're done, you're out. We don't have to give you no reason.
Right.
And a lot of a lot of sex workers make all their money from fucking their Twitter After Dark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's where, like, they make these blanket policies and they don't. But the thing is, like, they just don't enforce them. It's very rare that somebody gets removed.
The only social media site that is kind of consistent, because their rules are so fucking backwards that it benefits them, is Reddit stuff.
Yeah.
Reddit works because Reddit Reddit knows it's broken, and they like it that they're broken.
Well, it's like you and me talked about this recently, because we were talking about Reddit and 4chan and other creepy websites like that, where, like, it's just a breeding ground for these people to just be gross. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Craigslist and sometimes even Kijiji can be a little touch and go. Like,
because when somebody told me you can find a lot of weird shit on Kijiji, I'm just like, bro, I last time I used Kijiji was to sell my drum set. How are people weird shit on Kijiji? They just sell shit, and then like,
and it's like it's right. And I don't know if you guys even remember, and it would have been around the time when we were in a high school age, but I don't know if you guys remember the website Backpage.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That website originated as just like another like Craigslist or Kijiji, and then somehow it turned into like an escort site. Just like it became that. And it's like
Backpage shutting down was a huge deal, though. You didn't even know that, right? Well, because the main thing was they had the credit. Backpage, the one thing they did smarter than all these other websites is they generated their own credit processing software, so that you could like do your credit card through Backpage without having to use PayPal and shit. So when Backpage went down, a lot of those sex workers lost their ability to like take funds for their services.
Right.
Legally.
But that's an example. Of where Backpage was like, oh, this is not like what we want to be. And things are getting messy here. So like we're gonna move our next steps to like remove the program.
No, they got like shut down by the federal government.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that.
They got shut down by the federal government for like prostitution.
Right, but the point is, like, something was eventually done about it.
Yeah.
And it was removed. I know it had to go through the government, but like,
it's so jokes. Yeah, I see what you mean. But like it's kind of jokes how platforms begin as something like MySpace began as a place to like I and my friends use it for bands to find music to talk and whatnot. Years later, people are literally like treating it as their second sex,
like a celebrity site as well.
Yeah, people.
Well, it's like even in Toronto, like I don't know if you guys ever use Vibe.to. That was a huge thing in Toronto, which was basically like Toronto's version of MySpace, and it was all the same sort of thing.
What was the dating one from when we were tagged?
Yeah.
And then we had a Scarborough version of that. That would have been the Vibe.
But
was that Vibe? There was a.
So Vibe.to was a Toronto thing, and it was originally meant to be a copy of MySpace. That was the whole point. Like you could edit your URL and all those things, right? And a lot of people who were on Vibe eventually transitioned over to Tumblr because Vibe started to kind of become like a dating site basically, and people were creating large groups on like MSN and AOL and moving from this platform. Yeah, it was like a lot of things were going on, but this is what happens on the internet, right? You go from platform to platform to platform to platform because you want to start doing different things, right? So it's like you meet on Facebook, and that's where you have like that's supposed to be like family PC place. You meet on Facebook, that's your family PC space, and then maybe you move to like Twitter where things get a little bit racier.
Is it though,
then you move
or
to like Tumblr where things get a little nastier, and then you keep going down the line, right?
Before Bailey jumps in, this is what happened to Bailey and I talked about this like a couple months ago. Fucking Habbo Hotel. Yeah, Habbo Hotel. Habbo Hotel was
dirty.
It was dirty. It was a game. I remember playing as a fucking RPG game. But then a couple like I went on.
I started committing crime on it.
And then
we had Gangster RPG in Toronto. We had Gangster RPG, which was like the Bloods, the Crips, the King Knights or whatever they were called.
Jesus Christ, man. Yeah. That's so bad.
But that was back before, like when that stuff was going on, like Facebook was still brand new. Like I remember having Facebook. I was in elementary school when Facebook came out. So it was all still very brand new at that time. And that's like when companies were starting to develop their policies.
But like who?
To be fair, Habbo Hotel was the first company. Right. Habbo Hotel, to my knowledge, was the first company to like not allow you to swear on their thing by making it like habba baba baba. If you tried to say the F word, it would be like habba baba 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 baba. So you'd be like, oh, you habba baba baba jerk. Like, it would.
And chat rooms used to do that. What about Neopets? They did that on Neopets as well.
I only remember Habbo Hotel.
Yeah, Neopets. All I did on Neopets was create my pets.
There wasn't a lot of chat.
Oh, I went in the depths of Neopets. I was in the fucking Neopets chat rooms and dodging predators. But for real, is like these perceptions that you're saying though. Like I support them. I do kind of agree with them. But like,
kind of.
Who your Tumblr? Who decided that? Is it you or them? Because a lot of these perceptions seem like they're like consumer based, and then you're like asking these companies, these social media organizations, to then have to maintain a certain standard based on the perception of where they're supposed to be positioned within the media landscape.
You cannot tell me that these websites don't know what's happening on their websites. You can't tell me that.
But so where's
Because,
the line
okay.
of you saying, because now we've played like both sides of the card of like, okay, Tumblr is this. We made Tumblr because we wanted it to be this, right? So like whose vision is the true one then? Is your vision of Tumblr the right one, or is Tumblr's vision of where Tumblr wants to be the right one?
Well, it's Tumblr's. It's for them to continue the story. They have to continue their
So what if
going in the
they
direction
don't want it to be the After Dark version?
Then they need to deal with that, which Tumblr did deal with that.
Did
Tumblr said we have 13-year-old
Dying.
users. Yeah, Tumblr said we have 13-year-old users on our platform. We're removing all pornographic content, and we are going to start removing and deleting blogs that are promoting this content still. However, it's still continuing to go on. It's still continuing to go on, but I still use that website. And I've reblogged stuff, and like it doesn't even have that racy of content in it, and I've been given warnings. I've had posts removed, and like lots of people that I've known for a long time have had their entire blogs deleted for continuing those content. So yes, they are policing that content. They are moving forward with removals and warnings and stuff like that. So they're doing it. It's taking them a long time because Tumblr is a small company, but they're still doing it.
I get it, but now you're making. Why does Tumblr get the excuses and Zuckerberg doesn't?
Can I answer that?
It's his responsibility to. Yes, Raza, go ahead.
So that previous question, why Tumblr was trying to do that, is because Tumblr was owned by Yahoo, and they were abiding what Yahoo was doing, right? So now Tumblr, I don't know if they're still owned by Yahoo, but whoever owns them can dictate what Tumblr is to do. So Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube are their own entities. They can control what they want. Tumblr can't because it has a parent company that it needs to make happy. Like Twitter, for example. Twitter last year said, we're not going to have any more porn on the site. And there was a backlash to that, and they were saying, because we control our TOS, we will not do that. Tumblr can't walk.
Well, that was the thing, right? Because a lot of people came out against Tumblr for that policy.
Yeah.
Because Tumblr was full of like adults. It's full of adults. There are some, younger people that use it because the site is allowing 13-year-olds to use it, right? So. Yeah. There is a lot of adults on that on that platform that came out and they were like, hey man, like this is what your site's used for. It's used for majority 18 plus content. And like a lot of art creators and musicians and photographers and stuff have been making content on this website for many years of all different types of content. And so a lot of people came at Tumblr for it, and they were like, we want to stay on the Apple market, so like we have to do what we have to do, because that's what ultimately triggered it, right? They got owned by a bigger company, and they were also told that they were going to be removed from the Apple Store.
Like Tumblr has to abide by certain rules, where these other ones, Tumblr is its own special little group on its own. Where even in MySpace, you could put MySpace in. It is owned by somebody else. Whereas Facebook, who owns Facebook? A fucking reptile, right? So he can argue or do whatever he wants to do. Same with Twitter, right? Or do whatever he wants to do. You have to look at the ownership as well.
Right.
Bailey.
But this is where, like, when we're explaining to you why it's the company's job to police these things, and that's what's happening on Tumblr. Yes, some things are still getting through the crack. I'm aware. I'm on the website. I know, Bailey. I'm aware. But the reality is like they made a huge step. Like people. So I'll tell you, the people who are posting porn on Tumblr now have just gotten really smart about doing it, because they no longer make it the main post. Now it's all in the bottom section of a blog post. It's not, how like normally you would upload like a photo or a GIF. It's not like that anymore. They upload a photo or a GIF of something that's PC, and then they fill the comment section with porn. So that's what they're doing now to get around it, right? So they are manipulating the system. However, the crackdowns are still happening. It's still happening. Like Tumblr's still doing what they need to do to clean up their platform. It's not going as well as they planned, but point is, it's their responsibility to do it, and they're doing it.
But
like
why are they
Twitter's
getting a good job? Yeah, but so according to Twitter, they think they're doing a good job, and I'm sure there's people who like Twitter who think they are doing a good job of it.
Everybody thinks they're doing a good job. Everybody thinks I think I'm doing a good job. You think
So
you're
that's
doing
all.
a good
I'm just being. I'm being dickhead devil's advocate here.
I know
That's
you
all.
are, and I'm countering that.
Yeah. I'm just trying to say, like, it's their responsibility. That's
It is,
reality. As the person who's who's bringing the platform, it's your job. Just like it's
Okay.
our job to police our own small communities.
The
That's how it
user,
is.
the user understands what they can and can't post, right? But it's up to the fucking platform to enforce that rule. So what happens when a platform doesn't enforce a rule that they should be enforcing? Then you get a YouTube situation where they're canceling out channels that aren't supposed to be canceled out, and they're promoting channels that aren't supposed to be promoted, right, Bailey? Right, Bailey?
Right,
Well,
right,
it's
right,
it's
right,
like when
right,
YouTube.
right.
Well, it's also like when YouTube got in big trouble for pushing ads to children on the child's YouTube.
Yeah.
And it took a lot of larger creators to come at YouTube and being like, my kids watch YouTube, as you know, I'm a YouTube creator. My kids watch this platform on the YouTube Kids. I pay for the YouTube Kids, and you guys are promoting ads to my children. Like, it makes no sense. Like, it's not.
Well, it was
I
also
know.
the Elsa Gate too, though. It was like the extreme version of what you're saying. It was that is the best case
And it was
example of what you're presenting.
horrible. Yeah,
Right.
that was horrible. I've seen some of those videos, and it was disgusting that they were even getting past anybody.
Yeah, your boy Ethan did a great job on video on that. He did a great expose on that back in the day. But
It's fucked.
And
he's not my boy, okay? He's a YouTuber. I don't know. I just like some of his content. Yeah.
No, on top of this, Instagram implemented a new policy. I don't know if this is related, but now I don't know if you guys knew about this, but now there's a new policy that blocks older accounts from talking to younger accounts, like older people talking to younger.
I did not hear anything about that, but it's about time because I've watched some of those videos on YouTube where people are Chris Hansening people, and the amount of dirty old men that follow children on Instagram and contact them is absolutely disgusting.
Like,
yeah, it's good and creepy. I could see.
It's
Sorry,
horrible.
go. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Raza.
When I read that, I thought that was like in my head. I thought they took out that system initially, like years ago, to work on it and then bring it. I thought it was an old system, but then I read the full article and like, no, it's a new system. And like, why did it take them this long to put a anti-child kidnapping?
Because I think in some cases, like I can already think of. Because I think in some, there's a lot of nuanced situations. There are some cases, like just in terms of computer programming, it would be difficult because there are some cases where I would need to message a minor. I want to film an interview with homie that's a fucking rapper. He's 17. And I just can't send him a DM now because I'm over 19. Like, or fucking, like, like little details like that are the ones that trip it up.
I bet you can. Instagram will allow you to do that if you can like provide.
Probably through verification process.
Yeah,
like if you have a
actually.
check mark, they'll probably be like, "Oh, you have a check mark." Like,
your thing.
but again, like.
But then again, what about a Bailey who
I don't
doesn't have
think
a check?
that's. Right, but even still, somebody who is an adult with a check mark, I don't want them messaging my children anyways, because I've seen what adults with check marks can do. So I don't want that either.
The check mark that I would be okay with talking to my children would be Chris Evans, and that is basically it. I know you're gonna talk about good Christian Captain America facts and all.
Oh man, I hope nothing ever comes out about him. Raza will be devastated.
I will be devastated.
Like, I'll have to block your number. I don't even want to get into it. I'll feel so bad.
No, I won't even tell anybody. I'll be like, go in my room. Look,
He was so sorry. Go.
In grade 9 or 10, when my favorite band the lead singer left the band, and I've loved for like 10 years. I've seen them like 4 or 5 times up to grade 10 at that point. And when he left the band, I went into like a serious depressive episode for like 3 weeks. Because I was just like in my room, couldn't hear that album, any album, because I was so hurt, crying.
Yeah. I mean, I get that. I mean, I personally felt that though, like when Mac Miller died, that did that to me. I couldn't listen to his latest release album. Like, I just couldn't do it. Like, I couldn't hear those words from that person because it just hurt too much. Like, even still now, a lot of his stuff, it's hard.
Yours is more legitimate because he died. Right? That guy just got kicked out of the band, and now he's in the.
I know, but it's still, it's like you're mourning a phase in your life.
Exactly, and then the dude fucking followed me and liked me on Twitter like a month ago. So I'm fucking.
There you go.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, Bailey, you can flail your hands. Come on.
I just had a dumb joke, but I also think that's a good place to wrap it up. We talked about David Dobrik. We got all that up. It's about an hour and 30. We can sit on just chat for a second, but I think it's a good place to wrap up the pod.
I have let's end it because I have a tag story there.
Okay, all right. Do you want me to do the full close, or do you want me to put this in YouTube?
Because I apparently hijacked the fucking podcast, so you can take your thing.
All right, well, thank you everybody for watching. We appreciate your time. You can follow me on Instagram at gnarly_media, or follow our main page, Marching Into Madness, obviously, because we post clips daily, and we need those YouTube subs. So subscribe to the YouTube channel, and then when you're done, head over to the Twitch to watch us live Mondays, if we can make it on time, at 7 p.m., Fridays at 9 p.m., and if you want to follow Raza, you call him a dumbass at...
The name is going to be in the description. I'm not fucking saying it.
And thank you everybody for showing out. Thank you, Wine Mom.
Thank you.
Thank you. Again, literally, Wine Mom, her back, last joke, is made out of the same material that Captain America's shield is made.
Oh my god, stop.
I like that.
There's nothing that can stop her.
You guys are funny.